If you want the best hearing possible, then you might want to stick around today, as Starkey have got some massive claims with their Omega AI hearing aids. Cheers. At the tail end of last year, Starkey launched the Edge AI hearing aid, which was one of the most advanced hearing aids on the planet. But somehow, in an incredibly short period of time, they've gone and one-upped themselves with the likes of their new Gen AI G3 Neuroprocessor, their DNN 360, their Telehear AI, ooh, what's that? Their balance builder, yes, you heard it here first, and even their generative AI. So whilst other hearing aid manufacturers are just releasing firmware updates, these guys definitely mean business. So we've heard it all before, right?
Here at Starkey, we recently introduced our most advanced hearing technology yet.
But are we really seeing a significant change here? Well, Dave seems to think so. And with Starkey leading the charge and being on their 8th generation of AI now and their 3rd generation of deep neural network, I think we are seeing a change. So I'm kicking off today with their headline feature, the DNN 360, of which Starkey are claiming that it's the hearing aid industry's first deep neural network controlled directional microphone system. But what does that mean, I hear you cry? Well, traditionally, although this is a little dated now with more modern hearing aid technology, hearing aids switch between 2 different modes. If it's noisy, let's say in a restaurant, then they'll focus the microphones forwards so that you can hear the person speaking in front of you. And if it's quiet, then they'll open up the microphones, allowing you to hear in 360 degrees, so all the way around you. But over the last few years, all manufacturers have cottoned onto the fact that the world of sound that we live in isn't quite as simple as that. For example, you may be walking down a windy street while someone calls your name from behind, a car passes by, and your friend beside you is still talking. Well, Starkey are claiming that the DNN 360 would be able to handle all of this at once, knowing what you want to be able to hear by analysing millions, yes, millions of acoustic combinations using trained deep neural networks to instantly adapt like your auditory cortex does. So, in reality, and I hope this isn't too much detail here, this clever technology means that when speech isn't the focus, the DNN spatial awareness engages to give up to an 8 decibel signal to noise advantage. And then when speech is present, the DNN directionality takes over to prioritize clarity. And so from your perspective, because of course that's why you're here, you should be able to stay locked into a conversation in front of you whilst remaining aware of everything that's going on around you at the same time. And we're talking your footsteps, traffic, birds, or even, the example I gave, your name being called, without it being overwhelming or distracting. So, I've got to say, these are some pretty bold claims. In Starkey's internal tests, and I've got to stress that these are Starkey's tests, Omega AI users have demonstrated up to a 28% better speech intelligibility compared to older generations of their technology. They've shown a 6.5 decibel improvement in speech reception thresholds versus competitor models, plus an additional 8 decibels of signal-to-noise ratio advantage in non-speech noisy environments. For context, a 3 decibel improvement is usually noticeable, 8 is huge. And they've managed all this whilst maintaining their whopping 51 hours of battery life from a single charge, even with heavy streaming. Now, it is way too early to know if these claims from Starkey are true. And don't you worry now, I'll be putting these bad boys through their paces in my patient's ears and giving you the full lowdown when I've got some hands-on experience. So make sure that you subscribe to get my full review on this new technology. But stick around because I'm not quite finished yet. So, it is worth mentioning that Starkey has not singled down, not doubled down, but tripled down on artificial intelligence in these hearing aids. And inside the My Starkey app, you will now find not 1, but 2 new AI companions. Firstly, you'll find their new Telehear AI, which is a 24/7 virtual support system that can analyze any issues that you report, identify your acoustic environment around you, and then, believe it or not, make micro adjustments to your hearing aids in real time. And this is all without having to wait for a remote appointment with your audiologist. So I guess I'm going to start looking for a new job now. And then secondly, they have a new Gen AI smart assistant, which is apparently like having your own personal assistant but built into your ears. You can either double tap your hearing aid or open up the app and then ask questions, set reminders, or change programs. So think Alexa or Siri, but the hearing aid version. But oh no, No. That is not all that they've developed. A few years ago, Starkey coined the term healthable for their hearing aids, wanting to drive their hearing aid towards being more than just about hearing, but overall health and well-being too. Well, the name didn't stick, but the features did, and they've come along further still today with 3 key additions. So number 1 is their fall detection and prevention, which for you seasoned Starkey pros out there, you'll know that this isn't entirely new. However, what they have done is introduced a balance builder feature which provides you with personalized stability exercises and utilizes the motion sensors inside your hearing aids to track your improvements over time. I like this a lot. Number 2 is their respiratory rate tracking, which is a brand new metric that analyzes your breathing rate passively through head motion and microphone data. And then number 3, they've enhanced the activity, engagement and cognitive wellness scores, which are all automatically logged inside the My Starkey app. Basically, it's the only hearing aid out there acting as an in-ear health hub, which is great, but my question to you, yes, all of you watching this video today, is do you or would you use any of these features? Or are hearing aids working as hearing aids way more important to you, and would you just like everybody or every manufacturer to focus their attention on better speech understanding in background noise? Let me know so that I can let Starkey know if this is time, effort and energy well spent or all a waste of time. Yes, these hearing aids are Auracast ready, but no, it isn't switched on yet. Starkey, I say this to all manufacturers that are falling behind. This is boring now. I don't want Auracast ready. I want Auracast live, as do the rest of the world too. And I'll be honest, if I think that hearing aid users could vote between respiratory rate tracking or Auracast, I think that Auracast is going to win 9 times out of 10. So let's get a wriggle on. Now, externally, the design of these things hasn't changed much at all, because honestly, the Genesis AI and the Edge AI already nailed the look with their sleek and really pretty discreet form factors. But underneath the shell, there's some serious reinforcement to keep your tech from being sent from repair. From their new Pro 10 HydroShield coating, which is up to 10 times more durable than before, made up of the same waterproofing used in military-grade electronics, to their re-engineered receiver ports and Kevlar reinforced components. And finally, their new resin materials in their custom models, making them far more impact resistant than their previous acrylic builds. And for those of you that would get annoyed about not knowing the status of your old Starkey hearing aids, they've added a new green LED and a red LED indicator on the back of their RIC RT and their MRIC R devices. And this will confirm the power and the Bluetooth connection status. It is a very small detail, but it's a big usability win from your point of view, and it shows that they listen to your feedback. So if you do have any comments, thoughts, or areas where you think they should improve, Starkey listens, so add them to the comments beneath this video. Now, saying all of this, you would be crazy to buy these hearing aids. Yes, I said it, you'd be crazy to buy them. At least until you've watched this video covering the best hearing aids of this year to make the most informed choice possible. Ciao.